in the cross-low, but still a good spread of machinery in that class.
Because it's the identical livery, and I thought that the litres had already gone through there, and it confused me for me. Just sort of like biased a little bit wide. Gibbons is now stretching his legs at the front of the field with Snetterton 26 just behind him. Josh Law in the first of the green and whites is sat there in third. Fourth is the blue and red Paul Traherne, but side by side, Lesniewski just managed to get the better there of. That was Neil Burrows, wasn't it, that he was fighting with?
Yes, yeah. Neil just tried it down the straight. You can see Ash Law now recovering as well down the straight through the Pintos. Of course, the duratec's quite a bit more power than the Pinto machines, but when it comes to the handling as well, even though they've got those huge rear wings on them, they don't actually have that much more capability in terms of what cornering speed they can do. I was talking to Pete Needham earlier, and he was saying round Coram, those things are still doing 100 miles an hour flat out in third gear out there. It's absolutely bonkers.
We've got a great challenge headed down in towards Agostini. It looks like Neil Burrows is trying to have a little look, and I think he's done it, you know. I think he's managed to get past Lesniewski. Yeah, great job there.
And just behind him as well, Giles Billingsley is ready to pounce if anything else goes on there, but to be honest, Neil Burrows, I was told before today that he is very quick and he's going to be flying up the order. Starting from 10th on the grid, a big pop of flame actually there from Lesniewski's car. It looked like it smoked quite a lot, but still seems okay. But yes, definitely Burrows is on the move here now, up into 5th position.
It's definitely been the right move, hasn't it, to remove that bit of bodywork. As amazing as it looks, so I'm gutted that it's made a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I mean, it's not just that, that's superficial because the
it's still Michael Gibbons leading the way. He's certainly asserting his championship. Well, he was saying in qualifying he didn't get a clean lap in, and he was still 4th on the grid, so he was very happy with his time, but he doesn't seem to have been able to put in the pace yet that he mentioned earlier that he could have.
Of course, that's the other subplot we've got going on between these front two that are always fighting with each other, is that Michael Gibbons, of course, is sat there in an MCR, and then you've got the gun of Tom Snetterton. I mean, that's the rivals of the Sports 2000s right there.
Definitely, and Roger Donnan, the series secretary, was speaking to me earlier, saying about the fact that there is this sort of ongoing battle. It's almost like Holden versus Ford in the supercars in Australia, as we've got, the number 16 there of Richard Cook really closing in on the car in front. Pops out just to play a bit of mind games down the straight, just sort of say, I'm still here, I'm not going away.
Mirror, yeah.
That's it. You've got to really put these mind games into your rivals' heads. And to be fair, speaking of those mind games, Tom Snetterton visually looks like he's closing a little bit here on Michael Gibbons. So maybe as the race progresses, he just, like I say, finds his bearings. He could close right up to the back of him here.
I think with 25 minutes it's going to ebb and flow a little bit. I mean, one of the big things that's changed for me there is that Tom Snetterton's not under the same sort of pressure from the 3rd place car of Josh Law. Joshua Law 91 has just dropped away in that green and white car a little bit, relatively speaking, from him, which means that Lesniewski and the white and red Giles Billingsley 41. They started in 5th and 6th on the grid, and they're still fighting with each other now.
Yeah, all this time as well, of course. Roger Donnan, Mike Turner in the number 7, and then Nick scrape a bit of the dust off, he said, but he's doing a fine job at the moment, of course, still in the top 10. And what's even better about this is when we go to Silverstone in a couple of weeks, we can expect an even bigger grid, because a lot of the Pintos are actually at Brands Hatch this weekend, I've been told, at a historic sports car meeting.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes, it is. It's the HSCC Super Prix type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's down there.
Just interested to note, sorry Chris, but the Pete Needham Pinto is still ahead of the number, apologies I missed that, number 46, Gwyn Pollard, in the Crossland. Now, Gwyn was expected to be faster than the Pintos and just slower than the Duratecs. However, at the moment, Pete Needham's doing a good job of holding him off, so we've got two very beautiful blue machines battling it out on track. Great to watch.
They speak highly of you as well, mate. The cars, they've got a bit of a fancy for you as well, mate.
It's evened out a little bit by the look of it.
I was about to say that the gap was just stretched out. Although it sort of stretches out once we get on the straight there, doesn't it?
Yeah, he looked a lot closer than that coming into the final corner, actually.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Again, we possibly find that there's strengths and weaknesses at different parts of the circuit. Very often you find that. And I was actually just looking there closer. It still looks cool what's underneath there as well. There's still some bodywork going on.
Because that's what it's all about in these cars. I mean, Roger Donham was telling me these are naturally very understeering machines. They may look very planted and controllable with the amount of aero they've got on, but they are very understeering. It's all about making sure you've got a good corner exit to make sure you've got the run down the straight. And to be honest, it's not surprising. They're quite a long wheelbase. They're such small wheels as well that everyone may notice. We seem to, I was mentioning the Crossler before, and he's in the pits, I'm afraid. This is Gwyn Pollard. Not quite sure what's happened there. But to be honest, this will just back up the claim. Apparently Roger Donhan's been on the phone to Gwyn, telling him to just get into the Duratex because it's cheaper to run them, so this might be the final straw.
This suddenly froze up just as though you can take it, if not flat, really quick, but you can't.
Yeah.
But you don't want to scrub off too much. Not that way. Well, the other one that really sticks to it.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a big challenge for him.
Yeah, you've got to try and control it on the throttle. As he just rightly pointed out, Neil Burrows is right on the back of Paul Traherne now. And also Billingsley is right on the back of Dominic Lisnevsky. Just have a quick look and see how they come out of the hairpin. It looks like, I think Neil's come out of it. Yeah, he's still side by side actually. Yeah, he's got rid of the overlap, and there you go, Neil Burrows as well. He said he was going to come through the field well. He's up into what is now 4th position ahead of Paul Traherne. Paul was saying about the amount of modifications. First half of the year, backing off some of the sides, making the wing quite a bit thinner as well.
It does. I mean, it's interesting hearing all this talk about what they've been doing. It sounds like it's a sort of an engineers racing championship, but
sure.
But it doesn't have to be. Was the other point I'm going to say. Like Keith Mizzet, as far as I'm aware, he doesn't necessarily get involved in that. He can obviously give it to people to do bits and pieces, but you know, there is a bit more about being able to still come and race what you've got. Let other people maybe tweak it a bit, but it doesn't. Really have some fun.
Oh god, yeah, they're so accessible. And it's the fact that with these cars, easily in these cars. It's amazing.
Really?
And Pete Needham, another one that I keep mentioning, he's an engineer by trade, and he was telling me the amount of work he does on that car and how accessible it is. He really does enjoy working on it. He's even done a full engine rebuild over the winter and worked a lot on the suspension as well. As well as I say too, you can just so easily get to a car. And just roll it back. It's crazy, but still the battles rage on. I'm just looking a bit further down out of the final corner now. It's Roger Donnan just behind him. Just trying to check which one that is actually. I thought it was Nick Bates, but I think Nick Bates is 2 cars, but yes, it's Mike Turner in the number 7. These guys are closing up a little bit as well. That's number 4 of Nick Bates, just chasing him down. Looks like the wing is slightly bent on Nick Bates' car on the left-hand side. That's a bit of an interesting one. Maybe just the aero push as it goes down the back straight.
Look at the lead 2. Slightly there, but Tom Stoughton closing. I just noticed that last lap round it was a new fastest lap of the race to Tom Stoughton of a 154.706. He then went at 154.810, and in fairness, Michael Gibbons hasn't got
giving away the lead, and you'll see him in his mirrors as well with Michael Gibbons, and now it's just about how he deals with the pressure. Last season, the only race that he didn't win was here at Snetterton, so he wants to quite easy for him with Tom Stoughton putting this pressure on.
Josh 2200 Sports 2000. I mean,
beautiful. It's Grant Gibson, Grant Gibson, the Australian driver as well. He was talking about spring brakes and many of the other adjustable things earlier on. Well, I mean, you'll notice everybody that a lot of these cars have very tall rear wings, and as Burroughs disappeared, dropped off from behind trailer.
Yeah, no, he's still there, and in fairness, I was just clocking that he's lapping quicker than, well, certainly the leader, which means now the lead 2, because of course Stoughton's been sort of held up into the 55s by Gibbons, and they're not going to be far away from doing some lappery at the moment. And what's even worse than that, I've always said it, there's only one thing worse than lappery, and that's lapping battling back markers.
Yes, definitely. It's not battling at the moment as such, but
that he's probably spread out a little bit compared to before.
And it only takes one little mistake from one of them to cause a battle, and that's a real shame. Gwyn Pollard, sorry, has been pushed in the invitational car.
Wow, I've got to say, the 35 car of Neil Burroughs just put in a purple sector 1, and now he's different parts of this circuit, and he just threw it up the inside of one of the back markers, making sure he didn't lose any great time. The lappery's clearly spread the front 2 out a little bit, but what it has done is brought law back into it.
Yeah, Josh is going to be rubbing his hands together here now, thinking there's maybe an opportunity for us. We've got a long gold gap back now. Giles Billingsley, of course, is building his gap on Dominic Lesniewski. Giles is, well, he's making as the leaders come up on Pat Egan in the number 90 Pinto. Just have to see as they come out of the hairpin how well negotiated that was. But it's interesting to see the spread in the field here in the 2 classes, as Josh Law now goes past Pat Egan as well. The 3 of them getting through very, very cleanly. But it does look like Stoughton has actually closed up quite a bit again on Michael Gibbons. There's so much of an accordion effect going on here, isn't there, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, all about which one you get. And it looks like the third place car of Joshua lost out there and has fallen away from him, whereas the previous back marker, he gained dramatically. So swings and roundabouts, the seesaws,
that's his personal best as well, and what a time to do it, but even still not as quick as Stoughton, who was, well, 30 thousandths of a second quicker than him, but even still very close time. I think he's just going to have to settle for fourth, but still, from ninth on the grid, that's going to be a hell of a drive.
Yeah, he lost out yes, I mean, he got compromised with the back markers, and in fact they're now trying to get past another back marker. That didn't look like an easy job being done there. In fact, we can look on this camera here. Tom Stoughton dives up the inside of the Pinto, and he was not taking any prisoners there. As soon as he saw that Gibbons had done it, he's like, well, I've got no choice. Stopping at the bomb hole on the exit of the bomb hole. That looks like John Owen in the 28 car, the lovely sort of green and light blue car.
Yeah.
And he's just ground that to a hole. Now,
we've got another car just come under the commentary box as well. I believe that to be Andy Chittenden in the number 48. I saw blue with an orange stripe. It is as well in the Pinto. So two cars out of the race in a fraction of a second.
That a lot of drivers miss the part where you've got the day glow orange gaps and you know, marks on the fence, and drivers miss that point.
And it's the experience and sort of observation. To the car, his brother John opened up again here. Again, very similar times between the top three, but actually I say that, it's nearly half a second from Gibbons to Stoughton now, so with not too long of the race left to go, 5.5 minutes.
Well, I've just noticed new fastest lap of the race for Michael
yeah.
Gibbons. Personal best sector 2 and then the purple sector 3, so yeah, he's absolutely ground that one. We were surprised when we saw the Burrows is now sort of losing out a bit on them, so I think he's got about as far as he's got, and probably knows it in fairness.
Yeah.
And he's taking it steady. 5th for the 71 car of Portrait Hearn. Billingsley in the 41 car, Giles Billingsley.
Oh, Nick Bates, by the way, has got past Mike Turner. The number 4 has passed the number 7. Big spit of flame as they go down towards Riches, but interesting to see they are breaking into Riches. I would have thought, like you said before, this would have been flat for them, but not quite.
No, it's definitely not, and I remember Keith Mizzen sort of saying he was having to learn that, because it's a real a challenge in the fact that it definitely is not, you can't just wash it right out. Just a problem with Nelson, which is such a bad point to fix it, but somehow they've got
side by side down the straight, Josh. Neil Burrows, though, he's still flying at the moment. What time was that last time round? Still no.
And they took on the fence, you know, so he's not. I think he's kind of gone, hey, say to me, that is, you know, it is what it is. Status quo. This warning flags goes out for the number 4 car. And for the number 35 car, which interestingly is Neil Burrows, and yet we thought that he just clicked it down a notch or two, but he's obviously still pushing. That's intriguing. Big gap between first and second, but not between second and third.
Yeah, Josh Law there, just as we saw him go around the right-hander, he was right on the back of Tom Stoughton now. And if I'm honest, I compared to the Stoughton-Gibbons battle to a very Hamilton-Rosberg-esque one or the other situation in this championship. But if Josh Law can put his hand to it and really come amongst the battle there, then that's going to definitely upset one of them. Stoughton is definitely under pressure from Ash Law now, and this is going to play into the hands of look at the times as they come through. Josh Law out here. In case of when, not if, he tries to put a move on, but we'll have to see whether he's successful in that.
Well, this will be their final lap that they're on now, so he's only got this opportunity left to go. We've got 1 minute 36 to go, 1 minute 54, 55 laps they're pulling. I think it's probably enough just about in the bag, as long as Stoughton's not struggling. What was his lap time? 1:55.370. I think he's realised that he's not going to be able to battle with Michael now. Just unstuck him a bit, and so he's going to have to just try to make sure he keeps the Josh Law car behind him. Burrows seems to have settled into that 4th place in the 35 car. Great fight back through from 8th on the grid up to 4th. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Really strong drive.
No, the good news, I panicked because I thought his engine had just given way there, but it looks like he just locked up heading in towards Oggie's there.
Yeah, there's still the smoke clearing there. Definitely is.
It did suddenly look, oh, someone.
Right-handed into the air.
And that should be okay to just sort of see that one through, but you know, it'd be interesting to see how much of an impact it has on
it 1 from 1 in the Sports 2000 series. Fantastic drive from the front, takes the race win. Championship rival Tom Stoughton, second place in the aero.
Absolutely, without question. Absolutely brilliant job there. 4th air goes to Neil Burrows in the number 35 car. But what are we going to see in terms of nursing? No, Paul Treherne's lost that, what would that be, 5th place he was when he crossed the line. He's lost out because there goes the 41 car. I'm sure if he realises now, he'll be disappointed, because of course he's gone into protection mode of the car. So the 71 car comes in. I had him wrote him down at 7th, but we'll scribble that one out because he's not, he's in the pits.
Yep.
7th actually goes to boss Roger Donan in number 34. 8th, number 4 is Nick Bates.
Yeah, and then Mike Turner just behind him. And also Pete Needham wins the Pinto class in this one, in the number 54 machine. Great drive from him. It's a shame that we didn't see more of a battle between